say is that do subscribe to Coding Decoded. So that's the number one prerequisite. So yeah, that has to be there. I mean,
Hello everyone. I hope all of you are having a great time. And for those who don't know me, let me just introduce myself. I'm Sanchit Tudeja. I'm working as software developer 4 at Adobe. Over the past 1 year, apart from gaining lots of subscribers, I have made a couple of friends as well through this channel. And today, I won't be the speaker of the session. Rather, I'm bringing someone from among you guys who wants to share his commendable journey. His name is Abhishek Jain. He has recently joined Morgan Stanley. He was one of the early members of the community who joined Coding Decoded channel. And today he wants to share his journey from a tier 3 college to Morgan Stanley. So without much ado, let's bring in him, and it's time to get inspired. Bring in Abhishek Jain from Morgan Stanley. Hello Abhishek, how are you?
I'm doing good, Sanchit. How are you doing?
Great man. So why don't you introduce yourself?
All right. So, hello everyone. My name is Abhishek Jain, and I am a senior associate at Morgan Stanley. I have just recently joined the company. So, before working at Morgan Stanley, I worked for at Impetus Technologies for 3 years, and yeah, so I have like fairly 3 years of experience in the industry, and I look forward to work in Morgan Stanley right now. Yeah.
I think that's too professional introduction for Abhishek. He's a very humble and a very kind person. I can say that. So Abhishek, there are a couple of subscribers right now who are watching you and want to get inspired by your story. So I have prepared few questions for you, which can help
Sure.
the subscribers of the channel take inspiration from you, and they will get motivated, and probably they'll follow the same path as you did. So
Sure, Sanchit.
let's get
Shoot them
started
out.
with that. And
Yeah.
oh, and apologies, I forgot to wish you again for the big achievement of Morgan Stanley.
Thank you so much.
So let's get started. The
Sure.
first question for you is, when did you actually decide that you want to move out from your current job, and what was the trigger point?
Sure. So, like, let me paint the picture in this way. So, I graduated from my college in 2018. So, like, just to give you a brief background about my college. So, I did my engineering in computer science, and I did it from Medicaps Institute of Technology and Management. It's like in Indore, Madhya Pradesh. So, it's a private college from which I did my. So, like, I don't like to use that word, but yeah, it's a tier 3 college. So I graduated from that college. I was lucky to be placed at Impetus Technologies from there. So I worked for 3 years in the company. The first some time in the company, the first few years in the company, like first 2.5 years were really good in terms of you get to know a lot of new stuff, challenging things that come up in front of you on your plate, and you like to move stuff around and everything like that, right? But after the point, like once the COVID also started and this work from home style, things started to become things started to saturate for me in ways in which I could not find the work problem challenging me, or giving me new avenues to explore myself. So at that point of time, I decided that, like so to say, it was my trigger moment wherein I decided that maybe I need to switch gears and look for another job which can challenge me and motivate me to grow in my career.
I think that's an awesome point, that whenever you feel in your company that you have reached a plateau state and there's no more learning
Yeah,
happening, it should be a hard stop there and then itself. Like,
right,
don't drag yourself, don't linger on yourself in your current job thinking that it's your comfort zone. You being too
yeah.
young, I think you made a fabulous decision, because a lot of people get attached to their current job, and they tend to think that it's somewhat their comfort zone and let's continue with it. And what you did
Right.
is truly commendable. So,
Thank you.
uh,
So just to add on to your point, Sanchit, the thing that I want to tell all the new audience or all the younger audience in the on the channel is that try to be in all the vulnerable positions that you can find yourself in. Don't seek the comfort zone. It is very comfortable, but we are we just want. How much so the easier or the more you're vulnerable in your early years of your career, the more comfortable you will get once you have matured in the industry or have gained more experience. This is what my seniors told me, and this is what I think Sanchit will also tell all the subscribers. So yeah, follow that advice. Be vulnerable.
yeah, this I can totally correlate with it because my first company was Samsung, Bangalore, and
Mhm.
I never got the chance to do any work there,
Hmm. Okay.
unfortunately. And again,
Okay.
that was my trigger point: find good work, otherwise I'll be wasted.
Right.
Similar
Right.
to what you told.
Yeah.
So, did you had any specific goal when you decided to switch?
So my goal was to we can say this, right, that there are different tiers of companies that exist, like Adobe, in which our presenter is like a tier one company, or there are other companies which fall into tier two company. So my goal was that I need to like upscale myself in terms of my skill and in terms of the company that I work in. So like obviously you aim for the moon and you will end up on the stars. So I aim for good companies, farm companies, so to say, to be precise. And yeah, I had offers from a few good companies, and there was no one company in particular, but I was aiming for good companies in general.
Okay, so how did you start with it? Did you make a list out of it, or what did you do? Or it was just the
So
preparation? So how did the preparation journey and the selection of a company or the shortlisting of the company happen?
so I didn't have like any fixed companies that I was targeting. The only thing that I had in mind was that I want to be placed in a good company, something that would would be a step up in my career. So that was the prime thought process. And the preparation, I think I started in November of 2020. So the first thing was to brush up my problem solving skills. So I started with the hacker rank at first, but then I was also constantly using LinkedIn. I will still use, but was using LinkedIn much at that point of time, and I got to know about lead code as well. So eventually I shifted after a month of hacker rank. I shifted to lead code, and I started to practice from lead code from that point onwards.
Okay, so initially you started with HackerRank and then you moved on to
Yeah.
LeetCode, being the hot shot in the market right now.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And how
That's
did
correct.
you actually experiment with LeetCode? Since I assume it was new for you as well.
Absolutely correct. So, see, the thing was that when you as a new beginner, when you go to lead code, there are a lot of options for you. You can go to the explore page, you can try top interview questions, you can even go for daily lead code challenge, or you have a long list of problems that
Right.
from which you can start picking up and solve. So what I did was that I made so I say this didn't work for me, but what I did was that I started to do it topic wise initially. That,
Mm-hmm.
you know what, I want to master arrays and I will just solve array questions at first. And in that also, I also only started solving easy questions.
Mm-hmm.
So the thought process was that firstly, let me finish all the easy questions, then maybe I will switch to the medium ones. So
Okay.
that's didn't work out for me, because if you master your easy questions are easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they consume your time, but they don't teach you much. And as the saying goes on, maybe LinkedIn and in general, that if you spend maybe 45 minutes on a medium question or a 1 hour on a medium question, that is still worth than doing 5 questions of easy type in that 1 hour, because that the
Right.
a medium question will provoke your thought more than 5 easy questions. That is a time waste. So I initially started with that strategy, but sooner I realized that this is not going to work for me, and I need I don't need to solve. Well, so I needed to solve it topic wise. I needed to master some questions in the topics, but like arrays and strings are too generalized to like contain in a single if you want to do it in one shot. Also, I came to know about this daily lead code challenge at the point of time.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing was that I thought that let's skip it all. Let me just focus on daily lead code challenge, and let me start from there. Let's just solve a question, maybe a question a day, because daily lead code challenge was giving me the variety that I wanted.
Right.
It had a pattern that there will be one easy question, three to four medium
Mm.
questions, and then on weekends they will ruin our weekends with hard questions. So
Yeah,
that
I
was the
agree.
yeah, so that's the thing that I was looking for, and that I got from lead code, yeah, daily lead code challenge. Yeah.
So,
So I switched to daily lead code challenge at that point of time.
so daily lead code challenge gave you an opportunity to cover the depth as well as the breadth.
Absolutely
You were
correct.
hitting more topics as well as you were
Yeah.
improving from easy to medium and then to hard.
Correct. And just to also plug in that I was also working at that point of time.
Right.
Uh, so Sanchit will completely agree with the fact that it is really, really hard, and I really appreciate the fact that he takes the time to not only solve a question but create an awesome video with great editing skills out of it, and just publish it on YouTube with a great consistency. So kudos to Sanchit, you for also for that how do you maintain this consistency, this that is actually inspiring. But yeah, to manage both the things at the same time, I always think, and I will always give this advice that which one of my friend gave to me, that uh, don't aim for let's say if you have time, that's good. If you are a college student, that's good that you can solve 2 3 questions at a day per day, maybe 5 or whatever your capacity is, but don't overburn yourself. That's the first thing, because you will feel burnout maybe someday in your the longer run. Try to solve at least one question a day, if that's the lowest, because you cannot go lower than that. But try to make it worth your while, that if you have only solved one question, then at least you should, once you have completed that question, you should feel like you got something out of that question. Something maybe you found a pattern like these are the sort of patterns that that are in a pattern based. So if you found out a pattern, maybe that's good. If not, then maybe something else, but try to get some takeaways from the question. That's the most important thing.
Right. I agree. And at times you must be having work as well that
Yeah.
you were already
Yeah.
committed to do. And then
Yeah.
that's more than enough if you're able to solve a single question daily. I
Yeah.
would say, because anyways the burnout does happen and it happens with everyone. It's not that you
Right.
can learn coding over a period of 1 month and you'll nail all hard questions in one shot. It's not possible, guys. Nobody's born a
Yeah.
genius.
Yeah. The only thing is that the harder you practice, the luckier you get.
Right, I agree. So tell me about the time. How did you get the referral of Morgan Stanley or any
Sure.
other company that you applied for?
Sure. So, like as I have already mentioned about the background that I came from, so I didn't have much contacts in the industry in these big companies, right? So the only way in which I was able to apply for these companies was a try to apply on the career site, which I
Mm-hmm.
did, but that didn't work out for me that well. This was my experience. But so the second option was to uh, ask for referrals. So how do you do that? So if you so let's say if you have maybe you have select if you have a dream company, for example. So maybe you can start approaching the employees of those companies, maybe SD1s and SD2s of those company, and you can personally DM them that what, I'm looking for a job change, and I would really appreciate that if you could refer me for this position. And you should just not give a blanket message to them that hi or hello. Just be direct with your message that this is because there is nobody has a time to chit chat with you on LinkedIn.
Right.
So just be direct with what you want. Give them the information, give them the job ID that they are looking for, that you are looking for, and also paste your resume over there. and just hope that that person replies to you. Because if you're targeting for a good company, there are like maybe 100 people like you who are already in their DMs. So try to diversify, request multiple people, maybe one of them will turn out. So I did the same thing. So there was a good fellow who referred me, and from there I got the referral, and eventually in some time I got the online assessment link
Okay.
to take for Morgan Stanley. Yeah.
So it was through that referral that worked it out.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It was through the
And
referral.
guys, one suggestion here is every company has a bounty attached with every selection that happens through the referral. So nobody in this world will feel bad if he's getting money for it. That too for
Right,
free. So go,
right,
don't
right,
hesitate. Go and post messages, DMs to your colleagues or friends or whosoever you identify on LinkedIn. There's no harm in it. One day you will be also doing it for others.
right. That's correct.
So be open. We at times we are most hesitant. We are apprehensive that people will not acknowledge. It really doesn't matter. Nobody remembers you if they don't read your messages or ignore your messages. So just be open. It will help you eventually.
Right. I agree.
So Abhishek, another question for you is: how many companies did you actually apply during this cycle?
I don't have a exact count
Any
because there
rough
were so many.
any rough estimate?
uh, Maybe 20-25 companies that I applied for.
Okay.
So that's the number that I applied for. When I say apply, I mean I got a
Okay.
notification back that, here's the online assessment link. Please give the test, and we will take it from there, wala. So I maybe 20-25 companies around that number, and out of these companies, so here's the thing. Even if you give the online assessment test, there is this is my experience that in some companies the test went well, but I didn't hear back from the recruiter. In some companies I heard back from the recruiter, but they rescheduled the interview, and then maybe it eventually didn't happen. So it for me, it boiled down to three companies at last, from which like I was able to complete the process and eventually get the offer letter for myself. So yeah, so I applied for maybe around 20-25 companies at that point of time.
That's a lot of persistence, man.
Yeah.
You held your horses, hold your emotions
Yeah.
at that time, and you continued the toil. Hats off to you,
Yeah.
because I have seen people giving up in between that it's not happening, let's forget it. It's not my cup of tea. I seriously, even if you ask me, if I have to go and apply for 25 companies, I'll give up at one point. But I think the urge for breaking that plateau, the saturation at your current company, give you the motivation to progress in this direction.
Yes, that's correct. And I mean, if you're surrounded from all corners, or like if you're at the bottom, so there is no else way to go, and other than going higher, right? So it's the same thing that if you don't have any choice, then you just have to apply, right? So like there's no other way in this. And it so I won't shy away in saying that I also didn't feel bad that, the referrals are not turning out, or my applications are getting rejected. It happens with everyone. But just like Sanchit says, that if you are consistent and if you are holding your horses for long time, then eventually things will start falling into place. So just don't give up. Yeah.
Right. That's the whole picture. Not about cracking coding interviews, but your entire life.
Yeah.
So, Abhishek, another question would be here that at times there would have been low points as well during this journey of 25 interview processes that you applied for. The questionnaire came up. You gave the questions, solved the questions, and then follow up with the HRs. It must have taken some amount of time, 3 to 4 months, I believe.
Right.
So
Right.
there must have been low points with you, to be specific. How did you cope up with those?
What I did was that I temporarily took a break, maybe a day or two, like relaxed myself
Mhm.
and just chilled out, talked to some of my friends, and
Right.
just engaged with the people who are near and dear to me.
Right.
So that you get that positive vibe that what the world is not ending and there's a lot to
Right.
go. So just be there, stick to it. So yeah, I did that. I watched a few shows, or whatever was entertainment for me. So I did that. I rejuvenated myself, and then I was back again from Monday. I was back again. That what, let's just not deviate ourselves. We took a little break, and then let's just get back to business.
I That's an advice for me as well. You have to get it out of the system, out of your system. Whenever there is a low point in life, throw it out, talk to friends, go and party, chill out. It's okay. Nothing bad is
Yeah,
happening in life. It's just a temporary
yeah,
phase that will soon go away very soon. So just remember those
right.
points, and life will be pretty simple, I believe, if that happens.
Yeah,
The only thing is we tend to hold back to that negative point or the low point in life, and it stays inside. You have to just kill it out. Abhishek, I want to ask a very sensitive question. You being from a private college, did it act as a hindrance in getting through Morgan Stanley ever in any aspect?
so Sanchit, the thing is that uh, the fact of the situation is that I was from a private or a tier 3 college, as people say it, right? So the way was not that easy.
Mhm.
One must admit that, but it's not impossible at all. The only thing that matters is that so when you apply for a career position, right? So in the
Right.
resume that you submit, right? So something must stand out in that resume. It should. So, and many people run behind building a great competitive programming profile, or doing some open source projects or anything of that sort, doing internships here and there.
Mhm.
So my thing was that so I did author a research paper in my final year, and had a good major project that I knew end to end of. So that helped a lot in my case, because that was always a point of discussion that was brought up during the interviews, that how did you do this or how did you do that.
That's a
And
great advice, Abhishek. I also feel that even if anyone is from a private college and there are not many opportunities of companies coming into that college, you have 4 years to find your passion. Just work on having one thing on your resume that will make you outshine over the rest of the folks in the industry. And if you have that one specific thing, then sky is the limit for you.
yeah, completely agree.
So it can be a very core project that you built, or it can be a research paper that you did, or it could be something related to a specific internship that you got through. It can be anything. It can be a DS Algo profile too. So just try and search for your passion and work on it. So, Abhishek, we were talking about Morgan Stanley. So, how was the interview process? What all rounds did happen? What were the apprehensions there? How was the managerial round? I believe that the toughest round, because you have to make sure that the manager gets impressed.
Absolutely correct. So let me break that down for you as well. The process had two technical rounds and one managerial round. So before appearing for the first technical round, we had to give an online assessment test. I got a test link, and from HackerRank, I gave the test. Fortunately, I got in, so I had a call for the first technical round interview. The first round was based on problem solving skills. So it involved DS Algo, and it also involved some knowledge of Java language, and some core Java and advanced Java questions as well.
Okay.
I cleared that inter round, and the second round was so for me, since I had 3 years of experience in my current previous company. So they took my second round as a system design round. So I was asked to do a low level design for so I was given a system and I was asked to do a low level design for that system. So it was again a 60-minute round, and once the design was complete, we had some discussions about how if there are some changing scenarios, how we could improve on that. And I tried to give the best I could think of in those 60 minutes. So but yeah, I think I was good, so I got that through that as well. And once I was done with those two, I like had a relief that the technical part is over. Now the managerial part is there. So then there was a managerial round scheduled for me. In the managerial round, typically behavioral questions were asked to me,
Mhm.
that how do I manage risks, or how do I deal with co-workers, how do I manage teamwork and stuff like this.
Mhm.
So that was the third round. So usually the approach that I followed was a star approach, that situation, task, action, and results.
Mhm.
So that was a thing that I did, and tried to give the answers to the best of my capability. The only thing is that the only thing that I kept in mind was that I didn't bluff for any question that I was not like aware of, because since you are interviewing with a manager or maybe a like a very high management position, so you don't want them to catch your lie over there, because they know what kind of reasons they have interviewed like many people
Yes.
and many fresh graduates as well. So like be honest with what you if you have not faced a similar situation, try to like be honest about it, and
Mhm.
just say upfront that I have not come across a situation like this. Maybe they will understand that, because if you're a fresher, then nobody expects that much from you. And even if you are like new into the industry, so they don't have that much expectation. But if you have, then like try to be honest is what I want to say.
So, any specific or final advice to all the subscribers of the channel?
So like, I mean, like during the course of the this our discussion, I think we have dropped lots of advices in between.
Yeah.
But to sum this up, what I would like to say is that even if you are from a good college, even if you're not from a good college, in these days it doesn't really matter. And just work hard towards what you like want to be, where you see yourself maybe when you graduate your college, or maybe 3 years down the line. And just do some hard work, and you will get what you want. You will reach where you want to reach.
That's a lot of wisdom, man. Even I am feeling motivated about getting a good job now. And
All
I'm
right.
pretty sure that the audience will be motivated after seeing this video. And hopefully, they'll also strive for the change and for the upliftment.
I will be glad if they will be. And yeah, one more advice that I want to say is that do subscribe to Coding Decoded. So that that's the number one prerequisite. So yeah, that has to be there. I mean, that's like a prerequisite to succeed in your life. So do subscribe.
I told you he's a very modest guy. Okay, Abhishek, this brings me to the end of today's session. And I would like to thank you, first of all, and wish you all the luck for whatever you do in your life, whether it's Morgan Stanley, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Google in future, or any of your startup. Also, if startup happens, which I wish happens, do call me up.
You will be the first number. You will be on my speed dial.
Sure.
All right. Catch you later, Sanchit.
Okay then. Thanks for joining.
Bye
Goodbye.
bye.